this time of year, it can be tricky, and it's always great, you know, to pick the items that are seasonal. But if you're anything like me, Peter, I stand there in the produce aisle and I'm a little bit confused about how to pick my fruits and vegetables. This is Peter Moussatov. He's an elite produce picker for In a Buggy. So good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for coming in. You've brought in a beautiful display. Now, do you feel like people in general, let's say here in Canada, need some help when they pick their fruits and veggies?
Well, absolutely. With time being a really difficult thing to have nowadays, having somebody pick your produce for you, making sure that it's good, making sure that everything's fresh, it definitely helps.
That's a huge thing, right? And even when you take it home, how do you make sure you keep it fresh? So what are some of the general tips you give people when they are picking their produce?
Well, the first thing I would preach is patience. You got to take your time, of course, standing in the aisle, taking a couple looks at the strawberries, maybe opening them up.
Right.
Because there might be one inside that's a little bit moldy. What happens with one spreads to two by the next day. All of a sudden, you just have a wasted pack of strawberries. So you're kind of upset.
It just happened to me, Peter. I had one moldy strawberry that ruined the whole batch. So one thing we like to do is remain seasonal. So you brought in some seasonal as well as non-seasonal fruits and veggies. We're going to start to my right because rhubarb is in right now?
Yeah, it's very, very much in.
Okay, so how do we know if it's a good stock of rhubarb?
It's got to be firm. It's got to look, got to be like a nice texture. What else are we looking at here? For the most part, it's just got to be good color. Right. Not really moldy or anything at the top, any wilts or anything like that.
Okay, so just make sure it's nice and strong looking.
Exactly.
Rhubarb's one of the easier ones, I would say.
Rhubarb is pretty easy when it's in season. Definitely during the other times, it's really hard to find, especially. But it's great with pies, strawberry rhubarb pie. Super popular. My
favorite. Okay, so we're going to go to Cantaloupe, which actually technically isn't in season until summer, but it's available year-round. So we are going to cut into one. How can you tell if a cantaloupe is good to pick?
You got to give it a little bit of a hit, see if it's firm, see if it sounds good, check around for anything moldy, anything off color. Right. And if it's solid like that, then you're good to go.
You're good to go. Okay, so we're going to cut into one just to make a chance. And you're going to handle the knife, okay?
I got you. I got this.
So let's see what it looks like inside. And this is one that's fresh right now?
Yes. Okay. This is one that was just picked up.
And if it's good to go, what should it look like inside?
Exactly like this.
Okay, perfect. So it's got that nice kind of orangey color. The seeds look good and fresh. And smells good as well. Nice and fresh. Okay, so
maybe
what else
we'll share some after this.
Yeah, exactly. I'm taking this one for myself. Okay, so let's move over to the left side of the table, Peter. Which ones here are seasonal, and how can we tell if they're good to go?
We got to looking at the kale, and we're looking at the asparagus. With the asparagus, it's got to be firm again. Can't be wilted. Standing up and looking like this would be solid. Good for the barbecue. Put it on the barbecue with your meats, and you're good to go.
And with kale?
Kale. Just got to be green, nothing yellowish at the top, and looking majority down from up to down, looking like that.
What would a yellowish mean at the top? Is that too ripe, or is that too, is it not ready yet?
It's going to look like it's, if it's got yellowish at the top, it's probably got a couple days best and left in it. Okay,
so you don't have a lot of time left. And the last one that's seasonal is a sweet potato. So when you pick up a sweet potato, what are we looking for here? Because I find this difficult.
The thing is, it's got to be not soft.
Okay.
Pretty strong, pretty firm like this. And then you don't want any with dents, you don't want any with off color or anything like that. So if you can like stand in there, look around for a few and make sure that it's kind of smooth, you're kind of good to go. And then we got, obviously there's yams and there's also sweet potatoes, so there's a little variety. Plus in the season they have purple yams too.
Did I just confuse that? Is this a yam and then this is a sweet potato?
They kind of are, they consider this sweet potato as well, but technically they are considered yams. Okay,
perfect. So one last tip, you remind people to stay to the perimeter. Why is that?
Well, in the perimeter, that's where all the fresh produce is. So you'll look, if you come in, you'll see the produce on the left side or right side. See the fresh breads on the other side, the bakery. In the back, you'll see the deli and the meats. And in the middle is where they get you. That's where they get you with all those snacks, with all the stuff that doesn't need to be refrigerated.
Right.
And at the end of the day, when you go in there, you see those chocolate bars. You can't resist sometimes, so you maybe stay around it.
They're not as good as the fruits and veggies we have in front of here, guys. And seasonal is the best. All right, so for more information, you can learn about produce picking and getting help from the experts like Peter at inabuggy.com. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.